Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Miss Glen and Friends Read On. Thank you for hanging out. I know we're about 2 minutes behind, but things happen and it's okay. Miss Smith has something else to come up, so she can't join us today, but I have a book in store, and it's a book actually that I just ran across, and I want to share it with you because I thought it's a very, very great book. I love the message of it. The title of this book is Three Questions. Title of the book is Three Questions, and it's based on a story told by Leo Tolstoy, written and illustrated by John Muff. I'm going to take the sleeve off so it's easier to read. All right, so the three questions. And thank you to those who joined. I see Sean, Kennedy, and Denaya here. Thank you guys for joining. There once was a boy named Nikolai who sometimes felt uncertain about the right way to act. I want to be a good person, he told his friends, but I don't always know the best way to do that. Nikolai's friends understood and they wanted to help him. If I could only find the answer to my three questions, Nikolai continued, then I would always know what to do. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? Nikolai's friends considered his first question. Then Sonia the heron spoke. To know the best time to do things, one must plan in advance. Gogol the monkey, who had been rooting through some leaves to find something good to eat, said, You will know when to do things if you watch and pay close attention. Then Pushkin the dog, who was just dozing off, rolled over and said, You can't pay attention to everything yourself. You need a pack to keep watch and help you decide when to do things. For example, Gogol, a coconut is about to fall on your head. Nikolai thought for a moment. Then he asked his second question. Who is the most important one? Those who are closest to heaven, said Sonia, circling up to the sky. Those who know how to heal the sick, said Gogol, stroking his bruised noggin. Those who make the rules, growled Pushkin. Nikolai thought some more. Then he asked a third question. What is the right thing to do? Flying, said Sonia. Having fun all the time, said Gogol. Fighting, barked Pushkin right away. Then the boy thought for a long while. He loved his friends. He knew they were all trying their best to help him answer his questions, but their answers didn't seem quite right. Then an idea came to him. I know, he thought. I will ask Leo, the turtle. He has lived a very long time. Surely he will know the answers I'm looking for. And so before I move on, I want us to think about why his friends answered as they did. Let's look at his friends. You have the heron, which is a bird, you have the monkey, and then you have the dog. And notice how their answers were so different. And what that tells us is that even when we ask a question, we can ask the same question to multiple people and we'll get different answers because their experiences are different. So let's read on and see what happens when he goes to Leo the turtle. Nikolai hiked up a high mountain where the old turtle lived alone. When Nikolai arrived, he found Leo digging a garden. The turtle was old and digging was hard for him. I have three questions and I came to ask your help, Nikolai said. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? And what is the right thing to do? Leo listened carefully, but he only smiled. Then he went on with his digging. You must be tired, Nikolai said at last. Let me help you. The turtle gave him his shovel and thanked him. And because it was easier for a young boy to dig than it was for an old turtle, Nikolai kept on digging until the rows were finished. But just as he finished, the wind blew wildly and rain burst from darkened clouds. As they moved towards the cottage for shelter, Nikolai suddenly heard a cry for help. Running down the path, he found a panda whose leg had been injured by a fallen tree. Carefully, Nikolai carried her into Leo's house and made a splint for her leg with a stick of bamboo. The storm raged on, banging at doors and windows. The panda woke up. Where am I? She said. And where is my child? The boy ran out of the cottage and down the path. The roar of the storm was deafening. Pushing against the howling wind and drenching rain, he ran farther into the forest. There he found the panda's child, cold and shivering on the ground. The little panda was wet and scared, but alive. Nikolai carried her inside and made her warm and dry. Then he laid her in her mother's arms. Leo smiled when he saw what the boy had done. And so at this point, the turtle hasn't answered the boy's questions yet, but let's see what he says after those events have taken place. The next morning, the sun was warm, birds sang, and all was well with the world. The panda's leg was healing nicely, and she thanked Nikolai for saving her and her baby from the storm. At that moment, Sonia, Gogol, and Pushkin arrived to make sure everyone was okay. Nikolai felt great peace within himself. He had wonderful friends. He had saved the panda and her child, but he also felt disappointed. He had still not found the answers to his three questions, so he asked Leo one more time. The old turtle looked at the boy. But your questions have been answered, he said. They have? Asked the boy. Yesterday, if you had not stayed to help me dig my garden, you wouldn't have heard the panda's cries for help in the storm. Therefore, the most important time was the time you spent digging the garden. The most important one at the moment was me, and the most important thing to do was help me with my garden. Later, when you found the injured panda, the most important time was the time you spent mending her leg and saving her child. The most important ones were the panda and her baby, and the most important thing to do was take care of them and make them safe. Remember then that there is only one important time, and that time is now. The most important one is always the one you are with. And the most important thing to do is good for the one who is standing at your side. For these, my dear boy, are the answers to what is most important in this world. This is why we are here. And that's the end. So I love that book. And the reason I chose this book is because I thought about like we might have so many questions right now with what's going on and we're in a place and we may not want to be there. Some of us feel like we're stuck at home. And some of us, we want to see our friends and we're thinking about what's important. But I loved, and I'm going to read again, just the big takeaway from this book. Remember, let's read the boy's questions again first. His questions were, when is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? And these are the answers that the turtle gave him. Remember that there is only one important time, and that time is now. And so, as you're thinking about just your day, like I encourage you all, students and adults alike, I encourage you all, think about like now where you are and just the beauty in now, just what you can be doing right now. Like don't fret about what's going to come tomorrow. Don't fret about what happened yesterday, but let's think about now, like just the good in now. It said the most important one is always the one you're with. And so, like right now, we are home. Many of us, it's been about 9 weeks now of the stay at home order. And so, if you live with others, this book just kind of reminds us that the most important people are those people you are with right now. And sometimes we can get so stuck. Like, I always have my phone with me, but sometimes we can get so sucked into our phones that we don't really pay attention to the people around us. And like with this students, I know many of you like to play video games, and same thing, you may get so caught up in the video game that you don't really spend time with your family. So I encourage you, this summer you're going to have some, you won't be able to travel as much, but the most important people are the people you're with now. So take some time to spend time with your family. And then the last question, he said, and the most important thing to do is good for the one who is standing at your side. So if you're ever thinking about what you should be doing, just ask yourself the question, what good can I do for the people who are with me? I hope you all enjoyed that book. Like I said, it was a book that I picked up just very randomly last week, but I loved it because it speaks to, it just gives us some good wisdom to live by. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you to those who joined. I see Miss Smith and Camille, my sister, she was able to join. And thank you all. And to those who may be watching the replay, thank you for coming in. I hope you too enjoyed it. We'll have one more reading, and that will be tomorrow at 2:30. So I hope to see you there.